Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christian von Preysing.
These donations are coming in from all directions.
Closures on the south side and Center City and also the expressway. We wanted to know what happens when they count your ballot, how they prevent voter fraud, and how it all works. Roland, in the summer months, we see a lot of people with gallons of water like these.
This man from Guatemala doesn't really want to consider the idea of getting deported.
Sé que está difícil también México. Mucha violencia.
No sería bueno quedarse ahí para trabajar.
No.
Tampoco.
Como le comentamos ayer, oficiales del gobierno mexicano empezaron a registrar a algunas personas para visas de tránsito o humanitarias.
Our carrot's pretty good for you, and it carries a glycemic index of 40.
Think of it this way. The more ground up it is, the more boiled, chopped, the chewier and softer it is.
And the more sweet it is, the more likely it is to spike your blood sugar.
This fun-sized little t-shirt is made in Mexico, and it qualifies for NAFTA, which means it comes in tax-free. Now you'd be paying $7.87 for it right now, but if you put that tax back on, 16%, you're gonna be paying $9.12.
And their viewers happen to be on the other side of the world. So I asked them why they care so much about this election. There's also a county lift station. The IBWC says for now, they're not going to take any action on it. Every year, people think they get away with not paying traffic tickets in Valley cities. Often people are scared.
Ah, man. Let's say the police pull you over for going a little too fast.
Under Senate Bill 1913, effective September 1st of this year, next time you get a ticket, any ticket you get will tell you what your alternatives are if you can't pay your bill right away. Have a nice day. This water tonight continues rushing towards Falcon Dam. And this is about 5 feet. This is what the chief says the lake has gained in the last couple days. I'm here, my photographer is behind the camera, and there's nothing connecting us to you except this device. The thing is, there's multiple ways to get into the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge from the river. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. All of them that Border Patrol has to keep an eye on. He's registered with the Federal Elections Commission as a write-in candidate, and he knows it's an uphill battle. Well, tonight he tells us why he's running. How did this happen? Are there more out there? We'll investigate. Your life for sale.
A lot of civilians are coming in to take advantage of this, partly because Beaumont doesn't have any water.
New details after hundreds of immigrants were detained at a stash house in Matamoros.
Among the stacks of stuff, a valuable discovery.
I knew exactly what it was.
This is the hacker who found a treasure of information.
Buenas.
Our door-to-door effort was minuscule in comparison.
So here's the deal.
To tell people,
Esta es su información personal.
the potential victims,
It ended up at the pulga without the information being deleted.
who had their names,
Estos son los datos del señor Alvarado.
addresses,
Oh gosh.
social security numbers.
¿Es usted?
Some surprised to see information so old.
You right. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
We decided to go back one more time
Buenas, señor.
to find the vendor
¿Se acuerda de este server?
and tell him what he was selling.
Pues yo vendo, compro y vendo, así es que a mí no me perjudica ni me da ni me da.
He told us he remembers buying several servers.
¿Cuándo se compró ese en la subasta?
Eso fue el año pasado.
El año pasado.
It wasn't over. I was holding one of 22 more computers, marked with Cameron County labels. Inside,
Este todavía sí tiene un hard drive.
Ah, sí.
Sí.
hard drives. So we paid him for all 22. Animals don't really understand the meaning of Christmas. They don't really know what gift wrap is for or why they're getting all this stuff on this particular day. But they do act remarkably a lot like us at the sight of getting new things. Just like we look forward to something new, the band of chimps at the Gladys Porter Zoo gets up off their backs and starts playing around with the new stuff. It helps that the boxes contain a fiber treat that's hard for an ape to pass up. But even just the cardboard and the wrapping paper is enough to wake these chimps up and put their minds to work. A zookeeper says the behavior you're watching is this female chimp building a nest out of her newfound wrapping paper. Some chimps like to relax on Christmas. Others like to get a little bit more into the spirit. Right across the Resaca, this 3-year-old white rhinoceros can't contain herself at the sight of these strange new boxes in her yard. She bounces around in an excited rhino sort of way, and she does at least one of the things she was put on this earth to do, which is to gore things with her horn. A zookeeper says this 3-year-old, yes, you heard that right, 3 years old, sees these boxes as something to play with rather than much of a threat. Still, it's better to be on this side of the enclosure when this rhino gets excited. Christmas also comes for the fruit bats at the zoo's Australia exhibit. Bats are often misunderstood as bloodsuckers, but these mammals are exclusive fruitarians. And as you can see when I get into their exhibit, they're safe to be around. It's pretty dark in there to see the GoPro shot on their Christmas fruit tray, but dark is how these bats like it, even on Christmas Day. And then there's the strange, the prehistoric, and the colorful. The Australian cassowary is like something out of Jurassic Park. When biologists say dinosaurs are related to birds, here's the connection you can think of. It has a beak the size of a fist and a huge helmet on its head made out of the same stuff that's in your nails. It's one of the most dangerous animals at the zoo. Lucky for visitors, it can't fly, and the only thing it'll be hurting is this strange blue box. This Christmas, remember that you're not so different from these animals who get a special day, a special treat, and get a little excited about it, just like you. At the Gladys Porter Zoo in Brownsville, Christian von Preysing, Channel 5 News.
Tim, there are pockets here around Beaumont where the water just hasn't gone away, and people took refuge wherever they could. Well, now about a week later, those neighborhoods are being reopened. This is the first time in 9 days these folks have seen their neighbors. People are lining up on the stretch of this battered highway, 105 outside Beaumont. Their homes just around the corner. The waters have been too high to go back.
I think so in a minute, but I ain't too
Cliff
hurried.
Johnson is checking on every one of them until the go-ahead is given. He hops a ride. The neighbors file back in. Inside, Johnson finds a mess of broken furniture, soggy fixtures, and lost heirlooms. He looked out for his neighbors and held on as long as he could.
I was the third or fourth to the last. So at least I found out there was 3 more hard-headed than me out here.
The X's mark the height of the rescue boats when they came by to check for survivors. Johnson says he thought he could ride out the storm.
But this far surpasses anything I've ever seen, son.
What was it like getting out when you decided to?
I thought I was going to die. And I was worried about my grandson.
How high was the water? How did you get out?
Do I turn and show you?
Yeah, feel free.
We walked out in front of that lumen. Of course, it was parked straight. Walked down to that street and then walked up on Tram Road and walked out to that intersection down there.
Walked up
right here in Mintwood to water about right here.
The neighborhood is close-knit. People call Cliff the local sheriff. Kenny Vaughn checks every last corner for distress.
When they walk in, it's emotional trauma. You know what I mean? It's just a wreck. But you get the carpet out, you get the furniture out, and you clean the floors, and there's a sign of hope.
He says elderly neighbors will have trouble with what's next. He's bringing in a team of workers to help out.
Within about 4 hours with 4 men, we can make a big difference and get the hope back in.
A difference that will help bring this neighborhood back to what it was.
A lot of work, a lot of prayers.
Now that the floodwaters are gone, the work begins. Those residents will likely be taking advantage of supply distribution centers like the ones behind me, where the National Guard is handing out food and water to people who have little to nothing left. Live in Beaumont, Christian von Preysing, Channel 5 News at 6.
Iflikiel says relationship with Ford is about as long as his military career.
On both times I was in the infantry.
A combat vet in Vietnam, 2 tours.
That's why I know about explosions.
Now he's concerned his car could explode.
Metal pieces would come out.
His 2008 Ford Fusion is under recall. Last July, he got a notice about his airbags. It warned.
The rupture inflator may result in metal fragments striking vehicle occupants, causing serious injury or death.
Gladys says he contacted the dealership several times. He says he was first told to wait until February.
Well, February came and gone, and now next month is going to be a year and still nothing.
We contacted the manufacturer about this long delay. They told us by phone there will be no resolution right away.
The Takata airbag inflator recalls have affected the industry in an unprecedented way. We understand that customers are concerned.
Ford says it has no count of how many of these Takata recall repairs are still pending. The manufacturer says other companies are affected too. They're
working with our suppliers to get parts as quickly as possible.
nowadays, Garces says he just turns on the car to charge the battery. Ford says he'll have to wait until those parts are ready.
13749.
A 9-year-old car with just 13,000 miles.
The reason it has low mileage is because I'm afraid to drive it. I don't want to put my family in jeopardy because of all this shrapnel that will be coming out.
Garces says he'll keep waiting until the safety risk is over. Christian von Preysing, Channel 5 News at 10.